Matthew 24, verses 6 through 8 reads, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilence, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows." The world right now looks exactly like Matthew 24. So as Christians, as children of God, we should not be surprised or shocked at the rate of speed the world is heading and the direction in which it is going. Inflation, price increases, interest rates, rent payments, mortgage payments, wealth inequality, wars, trade wars, rising food costs, rising fuel costs. There are a lot of things to worry about and to be fearful about. And all of these things are external things out in the world. The truth is, every person listening to me right now has personal problems they're facing. Some people are battling with anxiety right now. They can't sleep at night because they're worried about the future. How am I going to feed my family? How am I going to provide? How am I going to get through this year? Or better yet, how am I going to get through this day? Other people have personal battles with their health. They are sick, they are struggling, and they can feel the shadow of death itself hovering over them, and they are fearful. And this life will make you fearful. It is easy to be fearful. Just turn on the news. It's easy to have sleepless nights. Just turn on the news. Jesus is the answer to your problems. I want you to read the very words of Jesus, and I want you to imagine Jesus speaking these words directly to you in whatever situation you are in. You may be recently divorced and alone, and you're just trying to navigate your way through life alone. You may be a single mother alone and having to fend for yourself. You may be a man who has been betrayed time and time again, and you find yourself in another difficult situation. Or you may be someone who is told they have less than 6 weeks to live. Regardless of what your situation is, I want you to remember this verse and envision your Lord and Savior saying this to you. John 14:1 we read, "Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me." And this is what we need to remember. Jesus never wanted us to have a life without trouble, but he promised us that we could have an untroubled heart, even in a troubled life. We as Christians, we will face trouble, but we can have an untroubled heart in the face of trouble. You believe in God, believe also in me. Instead of giving in to a troubled heart, Jesus told them to firmly put their trust in God and in Jesus himself. And some of you listening right now have been in a great deal of trouble all of this past year, and you have thought very little about Jesus. And that right there is your problem. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. That means Jesus is God. You can't go around him. You can't run from him. You must do business with him. Think of him. And if you don't think about Jesus and you don't put him at the center of your life, you're living alone. You are living alone. And do you think you can get through this life alone? Do you really think you can navigate through this world alone? You can't. But for a second, let's say you get through this life alone, without Jesus. What about heaven? You can't enter heaven without him. You need Jesus, my friend. You have been warned. You need Jesus. And Jesus commands you today as his child, let not your heart be troubled. That is a command. But Jesus, we are on the verge of economic collapse. No. Let not your heart be troubled. I will provide for you. But Jesus, inflation is so high right now. No. Let not your heart be troubled. Remember Philippians 4:19? But my God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. But Jesus, I'm alone and no one cares. No. Let not your heart be troubled. Remember, I am the friend that sticks closer than a brother. I am the one who promised you I will never leave you nor forsake you. I am the one who knew you before the foundations of the earth. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. But Jesus, I'm scared. My health is deteriorating. No. Let not your heart be troubled. But Jesus, I can't see a way out of the situation I'm in. No. Let not your heart be troubled. He is a God that loves you and cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7 reads, casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. God is with you. I believe that if we all look back on our lives, we can all testify to the fact that God was with us every step of the way. God hasn't taken you this far to leave you here high and dry. Isaiah 43:1 reads, but now thus says the Lord, that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel. Fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. God has not taken you this far to leave you here high and dry. Isn't that wonderful? God is your creator. He is your former. He is your redeemer. That's wonderful. God says you are mine. How does that make you feel to know that God says you are mine? You are not the devil's. You are not the government's. You are not a random social security number. No, my friend. God said you are mine. God literally has taken ownership of you. You are his, in his purest form. What else does a person need? That is reassurance right there. The great Creator is declaring that you are his. What more reassurance do you need? You are his. Get these negative thoughts out of your mind that God is angry at you. Get that out of your mind. God is not punishing you. God has not forgotten you or even forsaken you. God declares you are his. What are you worried about? Let not your heart be troubled. Isaiah 43:2 reads, when thou passest through the water, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. He said he will be with you. God is not far from you. God is not watching you from afar, cheering you on. No, God is with you. Isn't that wonderful? When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. In whatever situation you are facing today, know that God is with you. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. Have you been through the rivers of life? Have you been through the fires of life? Do you know who was with you? God. God is with you. Aren't you glad? Oh yes, you may go through some storms in life, but God is with you. What are you worried about? I don't know how the situation is going to pan out, but let not your heart be troubled. God is commanding you today that although you are going through the uncertainties, although you are going through the waters of life, although you are going through the fire, God is saying, let not your heart be troubled. God is with you. God is with you. And you will be singing that all the way through eternity, praising him for his faithfulness, praising him for his loyalty, praising him for his goodness, praising him for his consistency. God was with me. God was with me. You mean more to God than your hearts have ever conceived. You see, we didn't choose God first. He was the one that chose us and made us royal priests and a peculiar people to himself. God chose you. You may not realize God has called us out of darkness, that he might bring us into his marvelous light. He rescued us from the world into his kingdom, his glorious kingdom. Your fear about the end time will come to an end at the very moment you realize that God chose you for himself and that you are the apple of his eye. God did not choose us to destroy us. He chose us that we might be saved and live with him through all eternity. What are you worried about? Remember, God is in control.